So let's turn then to that evidence that we've referred to, and I'd like to start with a more general question about science. It's something like in the theological realm that I think people throw words around and often blur distinctions. So when talking about this or any other topic, could you help us understand the difference between if someone says this is a hypothesis of, let's say, heliocentrism, or it's the theory of heliocentrism, or I'm teaching it as a scientific fact? What to help us understand the distinctions among those statements?
Yeah, so um, it's interesting that the way in which we investigate nature through the scientific method today, it was basically invented in the Middle Ages, and it was in the Middle Ages, it was the first time that humans started to investigate nature to try to find laws that God had implanted in nature and investigate them through the use of the senses. Because of the confidence that the medieval Christendom had in the ability of human reason and also the ordered nature of the universe. That this Catholic view that we have a wise God who has created this world. He's created us in his image. He's given us our senses, our reason, and we're able to investigate it. Also, a certain respect for the material realm by the fact that our Lord became incarnate. He took flesh. He took matter, assumed matter. A human nature from the flesh of Our Lady. And so you can't, like the ancients would tend to disrespect matter and say it's either illusory or it's not useful for understanding reality. But the medievals had this respect, and so they developed the scientific method whereby we investigate the data of the senses as close as we can, and then we try to make some hypothesis about the laws of the nature of the universe or of nature that God has placed there that cause what I'm seeing. And then we go to a process of testing that hypothesis, and we say, all right, we do that especially by making predictions. So we predict what we would expect to find in nature if our hypothesis is true. If this law that I'm proposing is existing in nature, been placed there by God, is true, then I should expect to find this effect in nature. So let's go look for that. And if we find that that's the case, then we have confirmation of our theory. And I don't know. I would like to use an example with respect to geocentrism and heliocentrism.
Please.
And yeah, and that's it was something that existed in the time of Galileo, that the Jesuits, who were very much into science at the time, they knew that if the Earth revolved around the sun, that they would expect to find a phenomenon called stellar parallax. So this is a phenomenon to where if you have the Earth going around the sun, then it's going to be in January basically like 300 million kilometers away from where it is in July. It's going to be on the opposite side of the sun. So there's going to be this huge distance from where you are